What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel if you didn't know. So today's video is going to be all about tweezers. It's going to be all about beginner tweezers, what you need as a beginner when you're starting out, and basically what your tweezers are used for and why you need certain tweezers. So let's get into it. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are a lash artist, if you are looking to learn, this is the channel for you. Okay, so when you start off lashing, you generally don't need to be bombarded with all the tweezers that you see online. You don't need to worry about all the fancy stuff. You really just need two simple tweezers, because when you start off, you normally start off with classics. So generally, you just need your isolation tweezer and then you need a placement tweezer. So you can have different variations of these tweezers, and this is where it gets a little bit confusing because you see so many different shapes and sizes and little intricate things that just look different, but at the end of the day, those certain tweezers do the same thing. So what I mean by that is you have, for example, your isolation tweezers. So when you get certified, you can either have a straight isolation tweezer or you can have a curved isolation tweezer. This is a straight isolation tweezer, and then this is a curved isolation tweezer. So they do the exact same thing, but the difference is that the angle is a little bit different. So when you're holding your straight isolation tweezer, you would be like literally straight dead on to your client, and you can probably have like more of a direct kind of hit when it comes to isolation. But then when you have a curved isolation tweezer, it does help a little bit more, in my opinion. I think that you're able to kind of isolate in a different way where you're not so focused on the angle, but more so on the actual isolation. It just depends on what you like. And to be honest, when it comes to these different variations of isolation tweezers, it's generally preference and it's generally what you like, and it comes with experience and just trying different things to see what works for you. Okay, so these are our rose gold isolation tweezers. You can totally see the curve right on the front here. So the reason why it has a curve and why it's great for isolation, in my opinion, is just because you're able to go ahead and see the client's natural lashes and totally isolate them without bending your hand too much. You can literally just stay like this, and you have a little bit more balance when you can kind of put your hand on their forehead, and then that way you're not so up in the air and kind of just moving around. I know I saw a huge difference when I switched from straight isolation to curved isolation. So that's basically it for your isolation tweezers. Like I said, there's different variations. There are some tweezers out there that have like a different meaning or a different name that you could still use for isolation tweezers. It's all in terms of preference and what you like. I know there's 45 degrees out there that has like a nice little curve to it that can also be used for isolation tweezers. This is a 45 degree right here. All these tweezers are from Flourish Lashes, so you can totally check them out there. They all have the description on them, and if you go ahead and take a look at the site, they say exactly what they're for and the different uses for them. Okay, so then when you move on to having your placement tweezer, same thing, there's different versions of placement tweezers. There are your straight placement tweezers, there are curved placement tweezers, there are angled placement tweezers. It's all, again, preference, but they all kind of do the same thing. So you can have your straight placement tweezer, that's right here, literally just a straight pair of tweezers, or you can have a curved placement tweezer right here, which is known as a J tweezer, which is actually what I have right here. This is my favorite. This is our J tweezer in rose gold. This is literally ideal for in my opinion, just to place your lashes, because it's easy to pick up and place without having to move your hands too much. When you have completely straight tweezers, it's a little bit trickier, but it's again totally preference. But you have to definitely angle your hand a little bit differently to place it properly. But sometimes it just comes with what you're trained with and what works better for you. So when it comes to placement tweezers, like I said, there are different variations you can go ahead with. So in terms of having a J tweezer, that's the other one I was talking about, you can also have a L tweezer. So those are also used for volumes and things like that, but they can also be used for placement. It's just like what picks up the lash better in your opinion. And when you're looking for a placement tweezer, you definitely want to make sure that your placement tweezer is nice and sharp and has a great grip, because you are literally holding one single lash, and you want to make sure that that lash doesn't just like slide out of your hands or just like flip over over, because if you're holding too hard on your tweezer and you have to put too much pressure, then you can also kink your lash, and you don't want to kink your lashes because then you have the set that looks really nice, but then it has like these like weird curves in them, and that totally ruins your set. So make sure that you have a tweezer that you're able to grip gently enough that it actually picks up the lash without having to put too much pressure on it. So one thing I do want to mention about the isolation tweezers is that, because I know in the pictures that I showed you guys, you can tell that one here, this is your straight tweezer, and then this one here is your isolation tweezer. Yes, they're both straight and they both have the same shape to them. The reason that you'll know which is an isolation and which is a straight tweezer is if you look at the straight tweezer, they are completely one shape all the way through from end to end. There's no curve in them, there's no anything in them. But if you take a look at the isolation tweezer, you'll see that there's a curve or like a ridge in them where they go thick and then they kind of go thin. The reason being for that is because you definitely want to make sure that when you're isolating your client's lashes, you're able to get close enough to the natural lash without touching or irritating the lid or poking the lid. So there's always going to be that little extra, I guess like an edge, so the tweezers actually get thinner, so that way you're able to go closer to the natural lashes. Okay, so speaking of our tweezers, we actually have all the tweezers I did talk about are from Flourish Lashes, so you can take a look there on our site. Like I said, all the descriptions have everything you need to know about them. So right now we do have a sale going on where if you buy 2 pairs of Flourish Lashes tweezers, you do get a Spotless Pro Tweezer Cleaner for free included with your purchase. But the reason why the Spotless Pro Tweezer Cleaner is amazing is because when you have really great tweezers, and this has happened to me and I know that it's probably happened to you guys out there too, is when you have a great pair of tweezers, there are little things that can totally ruin your tweezers, especially that sharp edge. And a lot of the times it comes from the adhesive. When you dip into the glue and you have that excess glue that's now dry on your tweezer and you got to dig it off, and that usually dulls the edge of your tweezers and therefore they don't last as long. So what happens is when you have a tweezer cleaner, you can easily, like once you get that glue on there, you can literally just dip it into your dip the tweezer into the tweezer cleaner, and it'll literally just pop the glue off of it without damaging your tweezers or taking off the color, so no discoloration at all. So these little things really help keep the longevity of your tweezers. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I hope that this was helpful. If you guys really take in my last few videos, I'm really trying to help beginners right now. I'm trying to do these videos where I really focus on beginner tips that you just need right at the beginning, because I get a lot of comments for things that you should look out for at the beginning when you're looking to become a lash tech or just got certified. So I will be doing different versions of certain videos as an advanced lash artist and a beginner lash artist. So especially with this video here, this is definitely for beginners, but I will do one for volume lashing and more advanced lash artists that use different types of tweezers. So stay tuned for that one. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back with something new next time. Bye!